Hello, welcome to Coach Michael 101, where we listen to music, check out movies, other miscellaneous mayhem, and hopefully we have some fun along the way. We're doing two of them, combining them, miscellaneous mayhem and listening to music. We are going to check out the top 20 greatest rock frontmen of all time. So the fact that it's rock music might change the list a little bit. Off the top of my head, well, certainly Freddie's going to be near the top. He's on the screenshot, so no doubt he is near the top. Probably Robert Plant's going to be on it. I would say Mick Jagger, David Lee Roth, Axl Rose will probably be on it. There's a whole bunch that are popping into my head here. So let's get to the video and see top 20 greatest rock frontmen of all time. Let it roll.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 greatest frontmen in rock. For this list, we're looking at the very best lead vocalists in rock history. While artists like Prince and Bruce Springsteen are legendary, they will be excluded because they are primarily solo artists.
Yes.
And we'll save front women for a list of their own. Did we forget one of your favorite frontmen in rock? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, Bon Scott, AC/DC.
Both frontmen.
Scottish-born Australian singer Bon Scott was the secret ingredient that turned AC/DC into an international brand.
No stop signs, speed limit. Nobody's gonna slow me down.
Yeah.
His stellar shrieks were radical for 70s rock voices. Additionally, he helped put a harder edge to a decade known for softer music.
She wanted it hard, wanted it fast.
Johnson should be on there too, probably.
Scott's vocal abilities and Angus Young's power chords became a match made in rock heaven. Without the singer's effortless contributions, there would be no Highway to Hell. The vocalist tragically died before he could show the world more of the depths of his immense talents. While AC/DC continued without the performer, his lasting impact on the group was never forgotten.
If he had lived, he'd be higher up on the list.
Bono, U2. By the end of the 1980s, U2 became one of the biggest bands and live acts in
U2
rock
kind of falls
history.
into rock.
Their
I was thinking
one
a little bit
and
harder
only
than
lead
U2.
singer Bono was an undeniably charismatic and singular presence. He constantly used the height of his celebrity to promote charitable causes and share his beliefs. While some love to hate on the vocalist,
doesn't make you a
his
great
lyrical
frontman,
content stood above his contemporaries. Many failed to.
Now, he was one of the they were one of the better acts at Live Aid. They didn't touch Freddie and Queen, but they did very well.
Many failed to credit the performer for his influence on pop rock in general. If you wrote him off as just a pretentious guy with sunglasses, listen to his contributions on albums like The Joshua Tree. Bono succeeded in being both a great frontman and a pretty good role model.
Great voices of
Number
grunge
18,
would be on here.
Eddie Vedder,
Bang.
Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder brought a unique lyrical ability and strong personality to the stage.
My favorite band from the
in
grunge
Pearl
era.
Jam made him a cult figure for the grunge movement. Led by his deep voice, the group's debut album 10 became an unforgettable 90s rock experience. The singer's stage antics like climbing the light rigging and stage diving helped endear him to fans. Over the decades, the alternative
Although I will say Sammy Hagar used to do that too, way before Eddie.
light rigging and stage diving helped endear him to fans. Over the decades, the alternative rock group toured the world with a devoted following.
Jeremy spoke and clear as day.
Vedder penned lyrics about real-world issues and wore his heart on his flannel sleeve. His continued appreciation of the Pearl Jam fanbase contributed to his status as a rock and roll Hall of Fame frontman.
Everyone's crying. The full moon is looking for friends at high tide.
Number 17. Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance. Gerard Way co-created My Chemical Romance after being deeply affected by the attacks on September 11th.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city.
While the songs he performed helped him work through his personal demons, they became relatable to the legions of fans that supported the group. Way's contributions to the sounds of emo and alternative rock changed the game for artists in the 2000s.
What's the worst thing I can say?
Behind the eyeliner, the frontman was much more than a stereotypical goth performer. The singer's personal and emotional writing led to several modern classics such as The Black Parade. There were few figures in the same decade that were as uniquely visionary as him. Number 16. Rob Halford, Judas Priest.
Sure.
There's a reason that Rob Halford and his band Judas Priest are referred to as metal gods. Although he got into heavy metal and hard rock, his superior
Dickinson
vocal
will be
range
on
could
here.
have helped him have a successful opera career.
He has crazy
Fortunately for
range.
his fans, Halford helped bolster the British wing of the metal craze in the late 70s and 80s. He and the band provided a hardcore soundtrack to activities like motorcycle riding. Along the way, the vocalist broke down barriers when he came out as gay in a subgenre that didn't have much LGBTQ+ representation at the time. Halford's
Doesn't make you a
authenticity
great
and
front
dedication
man.
to his
I'm
craft
interested in the
built up
music.
Judas Priest as a force of nature in the rock world.
Which he is.
Number 15. Chester Bennington,
Yes, okay,
Linkin
I can
Park.
see him.
Serving as Linkin Park's lead vocalist and its heart, Chester Bennington definitely deserved all the praise he got over the years.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
He and Mike Shinoda crafted a mix of lyrics and rap verses that stood out from other rap rock acts. The group survived the 2000s with the drive to delve into painful themes in their music. Even as their songs took on a different flavor, he never undersold a vocal part.
I've put my trust in you.
Yeah, he's one of those singers. I don't know how he talk after a show.
Even as their songs took on a different flavor, he never undersold a vocal part.
I've put my trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go.
He's one of the few singers that truly left everything on the table with each performance.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the artist died in 2017 after struggling with depression.
I've become so numb, I can't feel you there.
His meaningful additions to Linkin Park's catalog created a sincere connection with fans all over the world.
And I know I may end up failing too.
Number 14.
Yes.
Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden.
Epic voice. Epic.
As Iron Maiden prepared to send heavy metal for a loop in the 80s, Bruce Dickinson was brought on as the lead singer.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire musket, but I'll run you through.
It soon became clear that he had joined the band for their most influential period. Dickinson's mesmerizing vocals first appeared on the Number of the Beast album. There were few voices that could deliver singles like Run to the Hills with such gusto.
Run to the hills.
Now, this is
Although
what I think
Dickinson
about
stepped away from the
vocals.
band for a
Lead.
time, he returned to continue making hits and delivering strong performances. His pristine voice built him up as a major figure for more progressive hard rock. Dickinson's work with Iron Maiden ensured their magical melodies were a part of a stellar decade of metal. Number 13, Chris
Yes.
Cornell, Soundgarden
Yes.
and Audioslave. Chris Cornell had a special talent that gave 90s rock a huge boost. While the grunge genre was full of amazingly talented singers, few could compete with this singer's serene vocal stylings.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
He does some great cover songs that are just, they
The
sound like they
artist
should be
guided
his song.
Soundgarden through alternative and hard rock influences. He hit amazing notes and played the guitar in the same breath.
I'm gonna break my rusty cage.
When the performer went on to provide his talents to the underrated Audioslave, he gained even more fans. In any group, Cornell shook stadiums with his deep and complex songs. All of his musical ventures felt authentic because he brought his own perspective and outlook on life to
You know, it's the grunge time reminds me a lot of Motown. There was that window when there were just so many great voices in one genre of music. And grunge just happened to be, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s, just absolutely a just a load of so many great voices.
All of his musical ventures felt authentic because he brought his own perspective and outlook on life to every note. His introspective personality blossomed on stage as he roared like few frontmen could. Number 12, David Lee
Yeah,
Roth,
Diamond
Van
Dave.
Halen. David Lee Roth energized Van Halen in the 70s and 80s with his showmanship.
I get up, and nothing gets me
That's the
down.
song of the 80s right
Among
there.
the hardest working entertainers in rock music, Roth was an acrobatic stage presence.
Might as well jump. Might as well jump.
And if you ever hear his interviews, he's like a mad genius, the things he puts together in his brain.
Might as well jump. Might as well jump.
The singer and guitarist Eddie Van Halen teamed up to produce one of the most celebrated live acts of their era.
Jumping, what's that sound? Here she comes, full blast top down.
Every moment he spent on stage was in full dedication to the audience. While he wasn't considered a traditional singer, he made up for it with his status as a brilliant ringleader. His unique take on songs from Panama to Jump brought millions of fans to their feet.
Ain't no stopping now.
Number 11, Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters.
Another
Dave
great
Grohl
voice
emerged from the
grunge
end of
era.
Nirvana with his own music project.
I've waited here for you.
Might be a little high on this list
While
for me.
he might have been a shy drummer in his old band, Foo Fighters allowed him to break out of his shell. This time, he decided to try his hand at being the singer.
Everything could ever be different forever.
What started as an experiment became one of the most successful rock acts of the 21st century.
You gave me something that I didn't have, but had no use.
During a period dominated by pop and hip-hop artists, Grohl showed everyone how powerful and relevant the genre could be.
What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one of your plays?
The singer's signature scream and good-hearted nature made him one of the most likable
That's
frontmen in
true.
recent memory.
Definitely a likable person. And really good live.
Number 10, Jim Morrison,
Oh,
The
yes.
Doors. Jim Morrison was one of the most enigmatic figures in rock and roll.
You know that it won't be untrue. Know that I would be a liar
After graduating from UCLA with a film degree, he gravitated towards artists like Ray Manzarek and co-founded The Doors.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid?
Morrison's poetic words helped give their music huge play in the counterculture scene. There were not many artists who could have delivered a song like The End with such conviction.
This is the end, my only friend.
Sadly, the performer was taken from the world at the age of 27. He left behind a short but undeniable career of lyrical excellence.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Morrison's deep voice cut across the late 60s in hits that captured a changing social
He was
landscape.
the dark voice of the hippie generation.
Tried to hide, bring on dude to the other
Definitely the
side.
darker
Number
underbelly.
9. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana. Kurt Cobain held court as the unlikely king of grunge music.
Load up on guns, bring your friends, fun to lose, to pretend.
While he wasn't a huge fan of the amount of fame his talent brought, he still led his biggest fans through the 1990s with his vocals. Cobain's deeply personal and transgressive songwriting blew a hole through the status quo. By combining a variety of rock subgenres, he became one of the most successful acts of the decade.
Love that song.
The singer's honesty and no-frills attitude only increased his reputation as a frontman for Nirvana. Unfortunately, his career was cut short at the age of 27.
That's a theme.
But Cobain is still part of an elite group of artists that achieved so much in such a short time.
The face to face,
Number 8. Iggy Pop, The Stooges. Iggy Pop and the Stooges laid the template for American punk rock music. His onstage persona tore to shreds any notion of decorum.
I'm so messed up, I want you here.
He also made it cool to take your shirt off during a performance. Fortunately,
That's
the
true.
singer would go much further than removing his top over the course of his career. Pop and his bandmates recorded 3 highly influential albums before a multi-decade hiatus. He embarked on a diverse solo career before reuniting with his old group in the 2000s. Thanks to his unpredictable stage presence, any act he was a part of could get pretty wild. Sometimes underrated and overlooked, Pop and his band were finally recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010. Number 7. Roger Daltrey, The Who.
Knew
Roger
you would be
Daltrey
there.
sang for one of the heaviest acts of the British invasion. Before terms like metal were mainstream, The Who was considered among the loudest rock bands. Daltrey was one of the first frontmen who wasn't limited by just a microphone. He usually appeared on stage while swinging the device around like a champion. Not only was he a great performer, his singing abilities were seriously tested with complicated rock operas like Tommy. The vocalist belted out anthemic numbers with the best of them.
Greatest scream in rock
And the
right
group
there.
represented the fury and artistry lurking in harder-edged music. Much of the singer and the act's creativity was ahead of its time in performance, ambition, and stage destruction.
Of course, a lot of that had to do with Pete Townshend's songwriting.
Number 6. Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses.
We knew Axl would be on
As
here
the
for sure.
fearless leader of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose moved the goalposts for frontmen in hard rock. Rose and his partying bandmates provided an antidote to the typical hair metal of the late 80s. Without his lyrics, classics like the edgy anthem Welcome to the Jungle would never have come together.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the name?
Appetite for Destruction and both Use Your Illusion records showcased his musical scope and ambition.
Sometimes I need some time. All alone.
Axl has huge
The group's
vocal
original
range.
lineup dissolved after egos and uncompromising visions changed the band's trajectory.
The jungle. Welcome to the jungle. What we bring it to you.
Despite his sometimes testy reputation, the singer's perseverance and leadership helped make GNR a household name.
Where do we go now? Where do we go?
Number 5, Steven Tyler, Aerosmith.
Steven Tyler, yes, the
Steven
demon is
Tyler
screaming.
commanded a microphone stand like nobody else. His scarves and costumes were as famous as his raspy vocals.
Talk about things that nobody cares.
Here's what I'm wearing, Billy.
Wearing out things that nobody wears.
Over the course of 3 decades, Tyler delivered ballads and heavy rock hits with ease. Despite his personal struggles, the singer persevered with an iconic slew of singles.
Sing with it, sing for the earth, sing for left and sing for the tear.
The vocalist poured his heart out on Dream On, and over 20 years later, he blew the roof off with I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
I still miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing.
He even helped bridge the gap between rock and hip-hop with Run
That's
DMC.
Steven Tyler and Aerosmith made hip-hop mainstream. Don't doubt that for a second. Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, they need to be in the hip-hop rock and roll, hip-hop Hall of Fame.
And I don't want to miss a thing.
He even helped bridge the gap between rock and hip-hop with Run DMC.
Walk this way, talk this way, walk this way.
Along with guitarist Joe Perry, the singer masterminded one of the longest-running success stories in music history. Number 4,
Demon is
Ozzy
screaming.
Osbourne, Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne came on the scene as the lead singer of Black Sabbath. Together with his esteemed bandmates like Tony Iommi, he practically created heavy metal music. He crafted the template for a singer in that particular rock subgenre. Iron Man and Paranoid put him on the map as a frenetic artist with a gift for huge vocals.
As he lost his mind, can he see or is he blind?
After Sabbath, he excelled with his own solo records, and touring made him even more legendary. His creation of Ozfest and run-ins with bats put him in the pantheon of music icons.
On the scene of dystopia,
Bluesy voice, too.
However, it was Black Sabbath where Osbourne first connected rock to the dark side. Number 3, Mick Jagger,
Mick Jagger.
The Rolling Stones.
when I was driving in my car, and a man comes on the radio.
The Rolling Stones could not have become one of the most prolific acts in history without an amazing performer center stage.
Mick.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Not only was Mick Jagger one of the original bad boys of rock, but his performance style was legendary. His various dance moves inspired countless imitators and even a popular Maroon 5 song.
Oh, I love this song. This was the comeback song for the Stones.
With his writing partner and guitarist Keith Richards, Jagger created many rock and roll standards.
Made damn sure that Pilot washed his hands.
Their appreciation of old blues and R&B records saluted the past and set a high bar for recording artists. The singer's many decades on tour prove that age is just a number
Just a
for this
number,
legend.
baby. Of course, when you sell your soul for rock and roll, you can live forever, maybe. Okay, so Mick is number 3. I'm going to go Robert Plant, and Freddie, the top two.
There's many decades on tour prove that age is just a number for this legend.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
Number 2, Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin. Hard rock owed a massive debt to Robert Plant's achievements.
Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give you my love.
His powerful voice put Led Zeppelin into an elite tier of influential musicians. In the early years of Plant's career, he helped create one of the best music outfits in history with vocal cords that could shatter glass. He was among the first frontmen to bring rock and roll to arenas and stadiums around the world. Few others could scream like he did on Immigrant Song and deliver a folk song like Going to California.
Spend my days with a woman I'm kind. Smoke my stuff and drink all my wine.
Plant pushed his voice to the extreme through the 70s. Fortunately, his efforts helped set the bar high for future generations.
Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Coach Michael 101.
Number 1, Freddie Mercury.
Come on, we
Queen.
knew this.
There is no question that Queen was the product of a collaborative effort.
Mama, she's killing me.
At the same time, it cannot be denied that singular Freddie Mercury took the band to a whole new level with his dynamic vocal range.
Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
You know, I've said it before, and I'll always say it. Freddie Mercury is like a magnet that just pulls everyone to him. Just absolute force of nature.
Leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
And videos from iconic sets like Queen's legendary Live Aid performance proved he had an unparalleled relationship with the crowd.
All we hear, Radio Gaga,
That's a frontman.
He was everything a lead singer should and could be, and then some.
So you think you can stop me and spit in my eye?
Mercury's shining star burned bright as his operatic style progressed music further than anyone expected. While he was gone much too soon, the artist lived on through his own indelible stamp on rock music.
Plenty of ways that you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, cheat him, treat him bad. And
Only Freddie can wear that and look cool.
The best frontman in history was also the most entertaining, dynamic, and effortlessly talented. There will never be another Freddie Mercury.
no time for losers. We are the champions.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other
That was pretty cool. We'll finish on Freddie's face there. There's a good end screen there. Top 20 greatest rock frontmen of all time. You know, I was debating whether or not I thought Steve Perry would be in there because Journey, are they a rock band? You know, I don't know that they're at the same rock level, although, I mean, they're pretty similar to Queen. So I would have put Steve Perry in there. But he is known for the voice. His antics on stage may not be quite up to what some of these guys are. But anyway, great video. Who do you think belongs that wasn't there? Would you change the order at all? Let me know. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a single video. This is Coach Michael 101. We listen to music, check out movies, other miscellaneous mayhem, and hopefully we have some fun along the way. I'll see you next video.